This practice is going to focus on grounding and soothing ourselves. This can really support us in autumn and early winter when the mobile and erratic qualities of the air and ether elements are higher in our environment. And that can really affect us, creating a more unfocused, scattered, and anxious energy within us. So for props, we're going to have a blanket if you have one. I'm going to have a bolster. I like a little support under my knees when I lie on my back. And then we also have here, I have a sandbag, a block, a yoga block, and a strap. Now, if you don't have any of these items, that's okay. But if you have them, they might be supportive in the practice today. We're going to be doing a lot of grounding and creating boundary so we can be more, bringing that energy more into our bodies and less of that scatteredness. So we're going to begin lying on our back in a Shavasana. So if you need a bolster, or you could use a pillow or an old blanket, bringing that under your knees. And just getting anything that's going to make you feel like you can be here with the least amount of effort. So being as comfortable as possible. I invite you even to have a blanket over you if you want a little bit of extra warmth. And the blanket will also help to create some boundary and help you connect more deeply into your body as well for this beginning part of the practice. Just placing your hands at the diaphragm, right beneath the rib cage. And taking several breaths. Giving yourself an opportunity to land. And just take a moment to notice your uppermost thoughts and the quality of your mind as you settle in here. Do you feel clear or scattered? Is there presence or lots of thoughts of the past or the future? And just invite your mind to rest in your body. Sense and feel the back of your body and all the places that are touching the earth, not touching the earth. Sense and feel the front of your body, the right side of your body, and the left side. Noticing what stands out. And then begin to sense and feel the earth beneath you as you prop. Feeling the support of the earth holding you up. And allow the sensation to invite your body to release here even more. Sensing and feeling that space around you and where your body is in that space around you. And beginning to go deeper within as you sense and feel the space within you. And sensing and feeling those hands resting on the diaphragm, begin to connect in more deeply with the breath. As you inhale, feel the diaphragm move down into the abdominal cavity as the belly rises. And as you exhale, the belly falls and the diaphragm moves back up under the rib cage. And just begin to bring more regulation into the breath now, making the exhale slightly longer than the inhale. So let's just begin with the count of 4 on the inhale, and then exhaling for the count of 6. And now eventually moving into extending that exhale so it's twice as long as the inhale. So inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 8. Just creating a snapshot of how you feel in your body, your mind, and your breath at this moment. And then slowly transitioning. So we're going to bend our legs one at a time, just mindfully transitioning, and just kind of roll that bolster out of the way here with my feet. Bringing your feet and knees about hip distance apart. And as you settle in here, just taking a moment to really feel the bottoms of your feet connecting in to the earth. So even taking a moment to gently press that right foot in and then releasing, and then the left foot in, releasing, just little imprints going back and forth here. This gentle cat like movement, meeting its paws here. And then gently pressing both feet together. Really just feeling all four corners of the feet. Toes are more relaxed, and the foundation being the bottoms of the feet that are really grounding us. Good. And then once you've released the one you're on, just take a moment to feel the connection of the bottoms of the feet to the earth. And then also the back of the pelvis, feeling that sacrum connected to the earth. The back of the shoulder blades, and the back of the head. All the places that are connected to the earth. You can bring the arms down to your sides now and feel them connecting to the earth. Again, just sensing and feeling the earth as your prop holding you up so you can be here with less effort, really letting go and melting into the earth. And just connecting back in with that breath as we begin to bring in some movement. On the inhale, just tilt that pelvis forward, arching that spine all the way up, vertebra by vertebra. Feeling all those muscles contracting. And slowly release. Taking a full breath at neutral. And then exhaling into the opposite movement. Curling in, going into that spinal flexion as we contract all the muscles in the front of the body. And slowly release. Take a full breath at neutral. And just go back and forth here. Nice and slow, focusing on the release and the letting go of the tension in the body. Good. So just finishing the round you're on, ending with the curling in of the front of the body and the release of that. And then we're going to bring our awareness to our arms. And you're going to just be curious about that internal external rotation of both arms together. We're rotating from the upper arm bone, kind of like this just rolling pin-like motion of the arms. And then the elbows, lower arms, wrists, and hands follow that rolling pin-like motion of the upper arms, internally and externally rotating. Good, and then finding neutral for the arms. And we're going to bring in some movement now into the hips and the legs, just keeping the knees and feet hip distance apart. that butterfly-like motion, opening and closing. Okay, one more round. Okay, and we're going to put all those, that spinal movement, connecting that in with the arm and the leg movement. So returning to the arch of the back, and as we arch, I'm going to externally rotate the arms and open the legs. Slowly release, the back floats down as the arms internally rotate, curling in the front of the body, and then closing the legs and internally rotating those arms. Okay, so we're going to go back and forth there, linking the movement with breath. Inhale, blooming out, and exhale, blooming in. You can even explore that 4-8 count here. Inhale for 4, and exhale for 8. So you can kind of just focus more on that release, lengthening it out. Okay, let's go through one more round here. Good. And then coming back to center that neutral. And take a couple full breaths here. Inhaling for 4, and exhaling for 8. Just continuing to connect within yourself, sensing and feeling yourself move it. Okay, so now if you have a strap, I'm going to have that strap handy. Again, it's okay if you don't. And we're just going to bring that strap around the back of that right thigh. And we're going to hold it in our right hand. So that left foot's firmly rooted into the earth. And so is the right arm. It's bent and the elbows down. And you're just going to slowly begin to let that right hip be as heavy as possible. So it's like none of the muscles in the leg or the hip here on the right side are activated. It's just this heavy release. And then just begin to move around into that hip joint. It really is a practice of letting go. Now, if you don't have a strap, you can alternatively, have that right hand at the knee. You just won't be able to have that elbow down on the earth. that you can still explore. It's like just this little like tweezing out in here, the hip joint. I'm kind of like rocking it back and forth and then going side to side. Just getting some energy moving here in this hip joint gently. You can try going in all directions. It's a ball and socket joint. It allows you to, it moves in every direction. So allowing you to explore all of that. Even bring in some small little circles. Again, using as little leg muscle as possible. So there's just a heavy and a releasing happening in here. We tend to hold so much in the hip joint. Now, if you're not able to totally let go, that's okay, but just being curious about it and exploring that in your body. So it's the place for us to start. Okay. Good. And then we're just going to bring that, just let that strap, if you're using it, rest down along your side as we now bring both hands behind that right thigh. And we're going to straighten that right leg and then bend. And we're going to connect this with breath. Inhaling for 4 as we straighten, and then exhaling for 8 as we bend. Feeling that left foot firmly planted on the earth, staying grounded here. Okay, then bringing both hands in the front of the knee. And we're going to inhale for 4 and exhale for 8 as we bring the knee into the body. The elbows bend. Inhale for 4 as we bring the knee out. Exhale for 8. Bring the knee in. Good. And once you finish the one you're on, just planting that right foot back onto the earth. Bringing your hands to rest on the diaphragm again and taking 3 full breaths. And just notice how that side of your body, that right hip down the leg feels compared to the other side. Okay, and then taking that strap again, and we're going to wrap it around, if you have it, around the back of that left thigh, lifting that left foot. Okay, and if you're using the strap, just letting that left arm be bent so the elbow's down on the earth. Otherwise, you're going to have the hand on the knee without the strap. And begin to explore that hip joint here on this side. And again, the leg is heavy. Just tweezing it out in here. Just exploring the movement. I just like to kind of shake it around a little bit. It's like letting it be. It's like really just trying to let go in the hips. Just exploring all the movements of that ball and socket joint. Goes every direction. And you can even begin to bring in some circular motion in both directions. Good. And then letting that strap rest down on your side. Bringing both hands to the back of that left thigh. And then inhaling for 4 as you lengthen the leg. Exhale for 8 as you bend. Feel that right foot planted into the earth. All the places the back of your body is touching the earth, allowing that to stabilize you. Good, and now we're going to bring both hands to the front of the knee. Inhale for 4, and on the exhale, bring that knee in toward the body for 8. Inhale 4, bring that knee out, and exhale, that knee comes in for 8. Good, and when you're finished with the round you're on, letting that left foot plant back into the earth, the hands resting on the diaphragm. Take 3 full breaths here, inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 8. Okay, and now we're going to bring the feet and knees wider apart. And doing a little windshield wiper motion with the legs. We're going to let that right knee gently drop in toward the left. It's dropping in, but also pressing out a little bit. so that you'll feel a little bit of lift here in the back of the hip, and we're getting into the hip joint a little more. Again, staying in your pain-free range of motion and just being mindful in your body. And then we're going to bring that right knee back. Kind of feel yourself grounding as you roll through the sacrum, and then that left knee drops. And move slightly forward. And then back up. Roll through the sacrum. That's your anchor, always grounding through that, or just noticing yourself rolling through the sacrum as you go back and forth here. Even noticing as you do this, we're kind of rotating back and forth from the outside to the insides of the feet. And then grounding and rolling through the center of the foot as you go back and forth as well. Just even taking that moment to notice as we pass through, grounding and centering into the earth. That gentle balance between mobilizing and stabilizing. Okay, and then coming back to center. And we're going to bring both arms down to our sides. You can leave the legs there if that's comfortable. If you want to just walk the feet in and bring a knee or a hip distance apart again, you can do that. We're going to take a few gentle head turns from right to left. And each time you come back through center, just feeling that grounding, the back of the head rolling through as you connect into the earth. Good, and letting the legs come back to center, or your head come back to center. And then the arms are resting down along your side, and we're feeling them grounded into the earth. And we're going to take that right arm, just slide it along the earth, up. That wing-like movement till it's the hands pointing straight out from the shoulder. And then slowly slide it back down. Okay, we'll just go back and forth there. Could explore maybe going a little further each time. The slower the movement, the more mindful we can be. And the more grounded and present.
Okay, so now just notice if your arm's externally rotated or internally rotated. Mine was externally rotated. I'm going to try that a few rounds now the other way. Okay, and then finding a nice neutral place for the arm and transitioning over to the left side and exploring that movement. You might notice a little bit of a difference from side to side, but just take your time here, moving slowly. And then just checking in if that arm is internally or externally rotating, and then exploring it going with the arm the other direction a few times. And then finding a nice neutral place for that arm. And so let's connect all of the that lower body and upper body together now. So we're going to bring the feet and knees wide again, if you did bring them closer together. And bringing both arms up to your sides like a T. And we're going to let the right arm be externally rotated and the left arm internally rotated. Slowly turning to the head to the right as the legs go to the left in that windshield wiper movement. That right knee drops in, gently pressing forward. And then bringing the head and then legs back to center, switching the arms and going the other way. Just sensing and feeling all those places connecting into the earth as you roll through center. Good. And then coming back to center and feeling complete. We'll bring the arms a little bit more, like 45 degrees from the body. The legs are back, hip distance apart. Reconnect with that 4-8 breath, inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 8. And we're going to return to that flowering movement, connecting that in with the breath. As you inhale for 4, arching the back and blooming out. And exhale for 8, blooming in. Here, one more round. And then releasing. And just taking a moment here now to return to that alternate foot pressing, that cat meeting its paws, back and forth, gently pressing, imprinting one foot, release, and then the other foot, release. Okay, and now we'll gently press both feet together. Press and release. And when you're complete with that, we're going to settle in to Shavasana again. So getting any props that you'd like here. Bolster for under the knees. If you want extra warmth, just getting what you need so you can be here for a minimum of 4 minutes for integration, but as long as you'd like. And this is an opportunity too, if you do have a sandbag, an 8-pound sandbag, yoga sandbag, it is really nice to, for extra grounding, you can place that right on the pelvis. Yep, and then also just, again, getting a blanket. That blanket for extra warmth also can help to create some boundary. So you can put that over yourself and it'll allow you to relax here and settle in even a little bit more. So I think I'll grab my blanket here. You're just creating a little nest for yourself. And letting your hands rest on your diaphragm. Again. And returning to that 4-8 breath. Inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 8. 8. And just taking a moment to scan your body, sensing and feeling the back of your body, all the places that are touching the earth and not touching the earth. Noticing any changes from the beginning of your practice. Sensing and feeling the front of your body, the right side, the left side. Noticing any changes. And just take a moment to notice the quality of your mind. Noticing any changes in your mind. And the quality of your breath. Do you feel more calm, centered, and grounded in your body, your mind, and your breath? Taking this time in silence now to integrate the practice. Creating a memory of the way that you feel in your mind, your body, and your heart.